YouTube channel near you.
Well, hello there, Jennifer. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Hello there, Lulu, Trista. Everybody's starting to slide in on a cold Friday evening. So this is Chance Anthony Carson, part 2, right?
Part 2.
Part 2. So this is going to be an interesting case here.
Sure.
This is where we bring everybody in to share their information. So what do you think is going to happen on this one?
I had a few of my own little thoughts. So hi Lulu, hello everyone. I'm just want to see what consistencies we get. I don't want to say what I saw. Yeah.
Right.
But
Well,
I think they're all going to be short. I'll say this. I think that they're not going to have seen a whole they're not going to have a whole ton of detail information. I'll just put it that way.
right. Well, I guess, yeah, I do agree. I guess we'll start off and let's start off with Angela. Come on down, Angela. How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Wonderful. We'll start with you and introduce yourself.
My name is Angela Bowley. I'm a psychic artist, and I can see and hear spirits, communicate with spirits, and I also paint what they show me for people, so that spirit has a chance to communicate with the living, especially when they're spirit guides. And for these shows, when in a format like this, I usually don't pull up artwork for this. So what I do is I usually just rely on my runes and all my senses, and I rely on communicating with the deceased or with the spirit guides to tell me what's going on, and also claircognizance and all my clairvoyant abilities. So for something like this, I wasn't given any images so much as the only image that I was given, the very first impression, I just saw blood dripping down concrete. That was the very first image that I saw. The next image I saw, they actually got a word, and it's a word for same gender loving, somebody who is attracted to the same gender. And I got that the person and who was the victim in this was attracted to the same gender. That he had money, so he financially supported himself. He didn't depend on anybody else for an income. So I just did a brief reading on him. What the runes would say on him is that he supported himself. His lifestyle was not approved by others, by family, and much of the people in his social circle did not approve it. And he felt suffocated by the pressure to conform to other people's ideas of how he should live his life. He just felt like it was overwhelming. The next I pulled up was I was talking to him, and he said, "There's no pressure here. There's no pressure to conform. There is total acceptance here on the other side." So I'm getting that he is deceased. And what I wish, he proceeded to show me 2 males involved in his death. And I felt there was a physical altercation, like there was a misunderstanding. And it feels like it was perhaps at a bar or someplace like that. It just felt like it was someplace with a lot of, not a whole lot of good lighting. And I could smell alcohol. There was drinking. And there was some sort of misunderstanding between him and these 2 men. The one man had brown hair, average height, blue eyes, I'd say almost like curly brown hair. The other one was very tall, very athletically built, broad-shouldered, big chest, dark hair, and perhaps a slight beard. And I could hear the victim saying, "It's just a misunderstanding. It's just a misunderstanding. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I'll get out of your way. I'll stay out of your way. I didn't do anything." But the altercation became more and more violent, and it started to escalate very quickly. And the victim was severely beaten. And I was shown that that the 2 perpetrators got into a truck after they left him laying there and backed over him with the truck. And I picked up, there were multiple witnesses to this, and they were afraid to talk because of the culture, and they were afraid to talk to because there's a social pressure there not to talk, not to communicate what they saw. I got that he was in shallow water, like dirty water, polluted water, like and I kept getting train tracks, like a train trestle of some kind. I got that the direction was, I asked him what direction this was, compared to the location where he was last seen alive. And I got a word that came up on a tool I use called the obelisk. It said south. I also got, there were not only just multiple witnesses, that there was a girlfriend who saw everything. This girlfriend belongs to one of the men, and she is somebody that is on DOC, right? And she's known the police, and she's in and out of jail a lot. And she would talk if offered some sort of immunity from any type of persecution, immunity or lower or lesser charges against her. But she's in and out of jail all the time. It's like people know her. I got that she has kind of long, curly, brown hair. And that is, let's see, I also got more. I got ambush, rust, and I kept seeing like an abandoned area, like a place with a lot of abandonment, like some sort of factory area that had been shut down, and this area now has all these empty places that's been left to rot. And I see small buildings that may either be connected to a railroad or some sort of industry that has left and has been gone for a long time, and then the buildings are kind of dilapidated. So that's all that I was getting. So that's all I got.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Stand by there. Whoa, what do you think there, Jennifer?
I'm liking it. This is gonna be this is gonna be interesting.
I know. Next up, Kelly Joe. Hello, Kelly.
Hi,
How are
I
you
get,
doing?
I'm doing good. I got that he was ambushed and jumped, and I see 4 people, and body was transported 15 miles southwest of from where he was, and it's. I also heard 3 shots. I don't know if he was shot or what, but I heard boom, 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 and I get a van and. And there's I get left alone in desolation. That's what I heard.
Interesting. All right. Thank you, Kelly. Stand by. I see a trend coming here.
I do too.
All right. Next up, Christopher.
Hello.
Hello there, kind sir. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful. Thank you, sir.
So this is definitely an interesting case. And I think a lot of people have already touched on a lot of good factors, but doing my remote viewing work, I immediately was picking up on words of fight, anger issues, disobedient, upset. I also picked up on imprisonment right away, shackled, outburst, personality problems, some mental issues, tattoos with symbols. I got that a couple of times, and something about Native American Indian, and that was just some of the first words I picked up on. And then when I got deeper into my work, I got that he was a Native American, possibly Indian. He is trouble. And I kept feeling like he was hanging out with perhaps a gang, and at least 3 people in the gang with some of the work I got here. I felt like they committed a robbery, and possibly that he hung out with this gang quite often. He was invited. I guess the gang, from what I picked up on, went to school with him, and he was invited from there to join the gang. This is back when he was in school. I guess he knew the guys from there, and they formed a gang. And I guess other members of the gang also wear tattoos. They've been known to steal cars, jewelry, and money. And he felt like the reason he was not living at home was because of trouble at home. Perhaps his parents also got into fights and arguments, which is why he was on the run per se. I felt like he shaved a lot to change his looks. He was not loved enough, which is the reason for his anger issues and trouble. I felt like he's been in trouble multiple times, and that's why he was in prison, because he was in trouble more than once. Some of the other things I got was he was ambushed. Even have the word ambush written clearly down here. He was ambushed, and I've got that very strongly. And that that's the reason he vanished, was because of the ambush. He was being paid back for something he had done. I felt like maybe he had stole or took from members of the gang, and they found out, and they did the ambush, took care of him, and he was killed. I felt like he was deceased and attacked and left for dead, and that's where he's at, is located a little ways from where he was last seen, a little ways from wherever he was last seen at. He's not too far from there, and I feel like his body is buried out back, and in a behind a home or a house out back. And no, he's not alive. And I also felt like he didn't see this coming. Like, he didn't know they were on to him. And also that, like I say, where he's located is not too far from where he was last seen. It's like in the back of a house. And I don't know if the house is abandoned, but it's definitely a white house. And it's out back in the property somewhere. And that's my work.
Interesting. Okay, Christopher, stand by. Next up, Craig. Come on down, Craig. How are you doing there, kind sir?
How are you?
Good.
Excellent. So, I guess the first immediate was alcohol and drugs. Their long history of drug and alcohol abuse. I believe he has already done or was in jail previous to this situation. He knew his two attackers. He was almost out of I don't know, I get respect or you disrespected or I also pick up that the two culprits are also native. I pick up I don't know if it's a native town or in a native area. Hang on with that one. I also he's not alive, but I see him on a reserve or somewhere that no one ever could look or cross boundaries. I'm not sure how it works out there for that. I get that he was stabbed. There was like a blood trail or blood left behind at the original scene. I don't get any witnesses. "5'10" to almost 6 foot would be the two perps. The one that was taller had longer hair than the one that was shorter. And that kind of, I pick up a jean jacket. I don't know why a jean jacket is coming into play, but that's what has been popping in my head at this moment.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, kind sir. Stand by. Next up, the one from overseas, Envil. Hello there, Envil. Welcome.
Hi guys, how is everybody? Happy Friday the 13th.
Yeah, happy Friday.
Thank you. Let's have a look, because as you know, I like to sort of keep it all very, very live from my end and not really investigate beforehand. So I'm just pulling up the picture that we were sent right now, and I'm going to draw some cards to see what I can feel around this picture. So I work with the tarot, which is kind of an unorthodox way of communicating with the other side when it comes to unsolved crimes. But what I'm picking there is that there was a lady involved in whatever was going on with this gentleman, and that there was also some kind of a disagreement around work or around money. It's showing that there has been a change around him. There's been a change, either a job change or a change in home, like a material change around him. And that's what got him in a vulnerable position in the first place, is what I'm starting with. Let me ask how he came to, to be featured here, what happened to him. Right. It's showing me, this is really interesting because it's showing me transport. So it's showing me like a car, but it's also showing me a sharp object like a blade. So there could have been a knife crime involved, something that happened in a car, somebody who came out of a car and attacked him. and it says that it was local to him. So it would have been either just at home or just outside of the home. Let me ask if I can see who is involved in this. I don't feel that this was something accidental. I feel like there was a premeditated aspect to it. It's showing me that whoever harmed this person felt a sense of victory, of achievement, when they were able to attack him. And it looks like whoever, so it doesn't look like it's one person. It actually looks like it's three people to me. But it also says here, and I'm sorry if it's gory, but it says that those people took trophies with them. So if they took things from his pockets, or if they took things from his car, his house, it says that out of the three people, one is regretful. So there could be one person who will one day give information and make this crime more solvable. I think one regretful person out of three is not really very impressive odds, but I feel like there was definitely a premeditated aspect to it. And let's ask, where would there be evidence? So this points me right back to where I started from, because I was saying that it was somehow in linked to money or to his work or something like that, something around the financial side of his life. And it says that that's where evidence would be found. So it would be either people that had a financial arrangement with him, or people who were colleagues, co-workers. So the financial connection is also where clues can be found. And let me just very quickly ask what clues there might be found. So I feel like there's one person who might still speak. So it's always a good idea to go over the people who already said they don't know anything, because there is somebody who will still confess. So that would be obviously the best evidence there is. But it also says that there is something around the workplace, something that is dented, something that is torn, that a physical bit of evidence does exist away from where the crime was committed, and more near where either where he worked or where he was involved with the attackers. So that's what I've got here. I'm gonna sit back and see what everybody else has got.
All right, stand by. Thank you, ma'am. Well, now what do you think?
I got some similar stuff.
All right, let's see here. And action here.
Seattle FBI office is now offering a $10,000 reward involving the disappearance of a man out of Omak. This is Chance Carson. Agents say he was last seen on February 20th and reported missing from the Colville Reservation March 15th. The FBI says foul play is suspected in his disappearance after it was reported that he got into a fight with two people. Carson is about 5'9". He weighs about 180 pounds, and he has tattoos on his chest, left hand, and right arm. If you know where Carson is, call the FBI or the Colville Tribal Police Department.
Well, there you go. Somebody mentioned tattoos, didn't they?
They did. And the Charlie Project posting on this gentleman, under medical conditions, this is on their website, says Carson has a history of DOC. So
Yes.
so they do, and there's a bunch of these pictures I can screen share so you can see all the. Someone was who was saying he changed his appearance. Was that Chris?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's nodded his head. Chris is like, oh yeah.
Here, look at all these pictures. I mean, look at this. It's like a baby face. And then these are all the tattoos. So this was last February. So it was almost 2 years old, the case is. There was like a 2 week. What was it? No, it was 3 weeks before
almost a month.
Before he was reported missing from the last day he was seen. That, I mean, didn't that seem like a long time to you? It's a little.
Yeah, that tells me that some people that knew him kept their mouth shut.
I'm thinking, yeah. And that it is under investigation by tribal police. So we talked last week that we would not probably hear a whole lot because they kind of handle stuff on their own.
Yeah, the travel police, right.
Yep. And the altercation, the news that I saw said it was 2 other people. They didn't say male or female, but they did say 2 other people, although nothing out there says where the altercation was. But I kind of saw the same thing outside, it's almost like behind the bar kind of thing.
And I do believe that bar is on the reservation.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, let's bring it back on.
Yes. I love when we do this.
Yeah. So, I don't know. What do y'all think?
Very interesting.
Yeah, definitely the native town and the amount of people and reservation is big.
Yeah. The town is only 5,000 people. Roughly.
What's the name of the town again?
OMAK, O-M-A-K, Washington State.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyone familiar with the town?
No.
I've heard of it.
Oh, you have? Okay. So
Yeah.
What Chris played was really all we had. There's nothing else on this guy. Nothing.
Like Lorna says, what happens on the reservations stays on the reservations.
Yep.
It is true. It really is. They're all family, right? Like everybody's related and everybody just shuts their mouth and what happens. I do feel that the body is somewhere where there's no chance in hell they'll ever do any kind of digging. I don't know if it's at another native burial site or somewhere where it just will never get searched.
I just kept seeing desolation. It's just totally desolate out there.
Right, I got abandoned flat area, polluted water, like shallow water that he's in. And I kept seeing witness, like people knew. They knew what happened. There's a female that witness that has a drug issue. She will. I feel like they're going to know who these people are, and they're going to be at least identified. The 2 suspects, the 2 males, at least brought in for that, because I feel like the female will cooperate. Now, the female is the one that is the key that holds what happened to him and where he's located. Because I did pick up on bar. I think I was like the first person to mention that bar, and then he gave me like there was just a massive disapproval of his lifestyle. So with that happening and with his family disapproving, he could not have gone to family to help if he was in trouble. And it felt like he took responsibility that he took pride in like taking care of things himself. But that, I mean, regardless, I mean, it was a brutal end. And I also picked up on lie in small town. That so somebody's being deceptive. For sure. But I kept getting defunct town, small town, like abandoned place. I kept abandoned. You say desolate, I say like abandoned. Place that's empty, largely empty. A place that's
Like
been
an old west ghost town.
Yes, that's the guy I was getting, like, and that kind of feel, that kind of feel of that, and I got that. Um, he's very near the bar. I feel like it's near the bar. I feel like this was so brutal, and it escalated so quickly. It was just unbelievable how people went to zero to incredibly violent in seconds, just like that, and just um, just awful, an awful ending for this person. Um, but I can still feel that anxiousness that this is not solved on the other side, not just on this side, but on the other side too. There's this unsettled feeling.
Yeah.
A very unsettled feeling. I do feel that the woman will talk, and I surely hope she will, and that these two men in particular, they feel like they're the main perpetrators. I did pick up a tall one and a shorter one, are brought to justice, and they will be caught at least sometime in the near future. If the tribal police decides if they're going to specifically question this female, I got a feeling that they know who she is, because she said, you wherever the man is, she is too. And that if they question her and then offer her some sort of clemency, that she'll talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
very
agree.
interesting.
I was thinking 1 person out of 3 is regretful and will speak. So that's really interesting.
Well, hopefully somebody will come to limelight and something will come to forward. So what do you think, Jennifer?
I hope so too. What a great Christmas present for that family.
Yeah, I really would be.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt like even Chase had regrets of the whole situation starting out from the beginning. He felt like he regretted it, but it was too late to go back now because he was already on the run. He was already in the gang. He was already doing all these crimes. It was too late to go back now.
Yeah.
True. Well, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for coming tonight. And audience, we have a new show tonight on Friday the 13th, not seen on TV. Check it out. Godspeed, everybody. Goodbye.
Hi.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.